Okay, let's just dive right in. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to decode one of the absolute most persistent mysteries of human behavior. I'm talking about our endless, unyielding desires. I mean, have you ever wondered why getting exactly what you want rarely actually makes you stop wanting more? It's kind of exhausting, right? Well, today, we're exploring a brilliant, truly ancient psychological framework that perfectly maps out exactly how our minds operate, why we constantly fall into this trap of greed, and, most importantly, how we can actually find some true clarity.
Now, to really wrap our heads around this, I want to start with a very specific, almost absurd number, 1,722. This number comes from a classic mythological story about a powerful Rakshasa. Think of a Rakshasa as a figure who represents a fiercely, unapologetically materialistic person. So this Rakshasa performs some intense effort, known as tapas, and as a reward for this absolute dedication, the Divine Lord actually manifested right before him and offered him a boon, basically a blank check. The Lord asked, "What do you want?" And among a few other things, the Rakshasa asked to live for exactly 1,722 years. The Lord granted it, simply saying, "So be it."
So, picture this. The centuries roll by. The 1722 years are almost up. In fact, there are literally just 2 days left before his expiration date. Up in the heavens, the god of death is looking at his records and is just shocked to find this guy is still hanging around. So, he immediately sends a messenger down to collect him. The messenger shows up, tells the Rakshasa his time is finally up, but offers him one last, fleeting chance. He says, "Listen, if you have any desire not yet fulfilled, tell me right now so it can be fulfilled before you die." So, I want you to really put yourself in his shoes for a second. What could you possibly still want when you've had absolutely everything for nearly 2 millennia?
Over those 1,772 years, this Rakshasa had acquired world domination. He'd essentially asked for the entire world to be under his toes, and he got it. He had total prosperity, infinite wealth, extraordinary health, unmatched fame. The whole shebang. He literally had it all. So when asked for his final dying wish, what did he say? Did he finally say, "You know what? I'm good. I am content"? No way. He looked at his immense glittering mountains of gold and said, "My gold is beautiful, it's shiny, it's incredibly valuable, but it has no smell. I want my gold to have a fragrance." And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the absolute absurdity of greed. Even after 1,772 years of having every single whim catered to, the mind just invents a new, completely ridiculous desire. Greed, by its very nature, is literally never satisfied.
And that brings us directly to the core of our explainer today, because the Rakshasa's story perfectly illustrates a profound psychological concept outlined in the Bhagavad Gita, specifically in chapter 14. Verse 17 states, and this is key, "From sattva arises knowledge, from rajas greed, and from tamas inadvertence, delusion, and ignorance." These three terms, sattva, rajas, and tamas, are known as the gunas, and rather than viewing them just as sort of abstract, floaty, philosophical terms, we really need to view them as the three primary operating conditions of the human mind.
To break down exactly how these operating conditions function, I want you to think of your mind as having three distinct settings on a dashboard, and whichever setting is currently active entirely dictates your psychological output. When sattva is dominant, your output is peace, clarity, and true knowledge. When rajas is dominant, your mind gets super agitated. The output is motion, endless action, and ultimately greed. And when tamas is dominant, the output is inertia, profound delusion, and ignorance. Today, we're going to look closely at all three to understand exactly why we act the way we do.
Section 1. The Trap of I Am Incomplete.
We're starting right here because this is exactly where our friend the Rakshasa was completely stuck, and frankly, it's where most of us spend a whole lot of our time. Rajas is a state of continuous agitation and motion, and the absolutely crucial point here is that Rajas always begins with a very specific, subtle thought. I am incomplete. It's that nagging, itchy feeling that you are lacking something, and if you can just get that one external thing, you'll finally be happy. That feeling kicks off the acceleration model of Rajas, which perfectly explains the mechanics of greed. Step 1 is desire or kamana. You want the object. Step 2, you take action, karma, to go get it. Step 3 is the result, Paul. You actually get the thing. Step 4 is fleeting joy. You feel great for, a day? A week? But then comes step 5, a new, bigger desire. The cycle doesn't just repeat, it accelerates. It's a giant hamster wheel on steroids. The momentum of getting what you want just fuels a larger cycle. The desire changes shape, from a new car to a bigger house to eventually fragrant gold. Rajas gives you a ton of energy for sure, but without direction, that energy is just spent on an endless external search that turns into insatiable greed.
Section 2. The Trap of Ignorance. Now, what happens if we drop down a level? If Rajas is an agitated mind constantly running on a treadmill, Tamas is a mind that won't even get off the couch. It is the lowest operating condition, characterized by a complete and total lack of energetic motion. The first output of this downward pull is inadvertence or pramada. Think about it. In Rajas, you desperately want something. But in Tamas, you don't even know what you want. It's just a deep, heavy dullness. The second output is delusion or moha. This is the total inability to distinguish right from wrong or good from bad. Your judgment is entirely clouded. And finally, ignorance, ajnana. And we're not just talking about a lack of facts here. It's a complete non-apprehension of reality, leading to severe misapprehensions and illusions. The mind in tamas is heavily covered and entirely trapped in the dark.
Section 3. Sattva, the path to clarity. So, if tamas is heavy darkness, and rajas is endless, exhausting motion, what is the ultimate solution? Well, it's sattva. Sattva gives us the profound, almost superhuman power to just stop, to hit the brakes, pause, observe, and actually reflect on what we're doing. This creates a massive shift in mindset. See, the Rajasic mindset firmly believes my completeness is in an external object. It's always out there, waiting to be bought or acquired. But the Sattvic mindset steps in and intervenes. Before chasing the object, Sattva asks a vital question. Is the happiness actually inside that object, or is the happiness found in the momentary quietness of my mind when the chasing briefly stops? It's a game changer. Sattva redirects our attention from the endless external accumulation of the Rakshasa and turns it completely inward. It replaces blind momentum with deep discernment.
So how do we actually apply this in our daily lives? The goal of this framework isn't to just angrily fight every single desire you have. That's a losing battle. The goal is self-awareness. You need to check your mental dashboard and actively manage your operating conditions. If you realize tamas is dominant, if you're feeling lethargic, confused, or totally apathetic, your only job is to wake up. Force emotion, get up, just do something. Now, if rajas is dominant, if you are running raw on anxiety and endless wants, you need to change your direction and inject some logic to slow that treadmill down. And if sattva is dominant, if you feel clear, calm, and grounded, protect that state. Pause, observe, and allow true knowledge to arise from within.
Which leads us perfectly to our final takeaway. When sattva becomes pure enough, knowledge isn't something you stuff into your brain from the outside. It literally reveals itself from the inside. The endless cycle of rajas forces you to wake up every single day and ask, what else do I need? But when you truly understand the gunas, you can upgrade that question. So I want to leave you with this thought. Instead of asking what else you need to be complete, take a sattvic pause today and ask, who am I really? Because honestly, answering that question is the only way to finally stop chasing fragrant gold. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you find a little more clarity in your day. Catch you next time.